Second down and 10 after the incompletion. Nickel goes left side this time. Gatling makes a catch, and Gatling is gone. Touchdown, Milton.
Again, that's just getting a playmaker the ball in space. That's the name of the game.
Pass to Mason. He gets to the outside, and he may go to the house. One man to beat. He's in. Touchdown. St. Edward, 34 yards.
The defense will get soft. They'll come up on you, and then you can throw over top. But we just got to stay patient, young quarterbacks, and he'll learn that. He's just a freshman.
Little pass again and another pick. This one picked off by Bryson Banks, and he is in. Touchdown, Buford. Scott Galetti and Brandon Dowdy here in Canton, Ohio at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. You see the score, 34-20 in favor of Christian Brothers over Milton. Christian Brothers out of St. Louis, Missouri. The Missouri Class 6 champions of last year. Only loss to East St. Louis in the opener, 48-44. We'll see them tomorrow night in the finale of this event. Milton 0-1. They were runners-up in the 7A championship game to Collins Hill last season. And here comes the run back as it's Mark Esley II getting near the 20.
Number 14, Mark Esley with return.
Extracurricular activity, flag now thrown way from the 40.
A little frustration on the Milton side here. They got to get their composure back and understand that there is no possession in football where you can get 14 points. You just need to be able to execute at a high level. Do not have the dead ball penalties, the pre-snap penalties, the post-snap penalties. They're going to kill you when in the crunch time.
No, you're right about that. And the key is to score as quickly as you can and just let things happen, as opposed to, like you said, try to go for that 14-point play, which we all wish it existed, but it doesn't, Brandon.
It does not, and it does not exist. You just got to stick with the game plan. As a young quarterback, just take what the defense gives you. Don't get impatient. That's when you start getting those turnovers. You start forcing that ball down the middle of the field especially.
Motion man with Nave going to the left side, top of your picture. Moskowitz switches to the left of Nickel. Clock is stopped, so no rush. Play action to Moskowitz. The pass right side to Esley. He catches it down the right sideline. Tried to make a move and slipped down, but he thought that he was open enough to go downfield for 6.
Wow.
And he ended up with a big-time reception. Dorian DuBose on the coverage, credited with the tackle. But what a route by Esley, and that's one of the things that he can do.
Yeah, great route, great combination. All they did is try to bracket. They tried to pass off 1 and 2 on the outside and versus the cover 4 defense. Had a little bit of miscommunication, hit him for a big play.
Esley again. This one, like last week when we were doing the Freedom Bowl in Milton, Georgia, what you talked about and said many, many times, Brandon, that's almost like a run play. You just get a little pass on the right and let the guy who has the move and speed make some moves in speed.
Yeah, out in space. Get your playmakers out in space. That's what the game of football is all about. Something to watch out here is Gatling is one-on-one on the outside to the top of the screen here. Maybe a little double move, maybe a shot to him.
That's a good
be
point.
Careful.
Well, he's looking that way, and he gets him on a slant, and he gets him right on cue. The catch was made at the 10, and he's down to the 7. Man, Nostradamus, you called that one.
Yeah. I just saw him single coverage out there. Your best receiver, he doesn't. When he gets single coverage, a young quarterback just got to identify that. Your best player, Nickel, does a good job staying in rhythm, gives him an accurate ball in traffic. That's a big time catch by Gatling here, showing off his array of talent.
The infamous number 40, who was not put on the roster. The PA announcer doesn't have his name either. We wish we did, but he's had a heck of a game on defense. Little flip in the end zone. That is too high to handle for Ryan G.
Took a shot there. Great decision by Nickel. That is a senior level decision right there. he was going to say that you were going to catch this ball or nobody was going to catch the ball. My philosophy in the tight zone is check down or touchdown. When anything else does not matter here. We need to protect the football and make sure that our guys are coming away with it and we have the ball to end this series.
This is the best case scenario, though. They've gotten downfield in a couple of plays. They need to get it in for it to work even better, but down 2 scores are doing what they need to do, and there's Gatling into the end zone. Touchdown, 7 yards. DeBron Gatling from Luke Nickel. Second touchdown of the game and season for Gatling.
Great patience right there by Gatling, not coming off the ball real strong, just kind of slow plays the outside. Nickel does a good job of making an accurate throw, a little too much soft coverage there by Christian Brothers, and they paid for it. Big score by Milton, and score fast. That is huge.
Moda in to kick the extra point. Kick by Moda is good. 8:44 to play. We are in the 4th quarter. We've got a good one. It is 34-27 in favor of Christian Brothers out of St. Louis, Missouri, over Milton of Georgia. Freedom Bowl 2022 from Flow Football. Canton, Ohio here, Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. It is the Freedom Bowl Hall of Fame version here in Canton, Ohio. Scott Galetti, Brandon Dowdy. And I'll tell you, Brandon, we have 8:44 to go on the clock in the 4th quarter. Milton down 2 scores, doing what they needed to do. You said don't go for the 14-point play, but they did go for a quick drive.
Yeah, they did a great job, and to get an onside kick here almost got that. But no, seriously, they did a really good job executing on that game plan. They had a really good hot script, I like to call that, where they just got guys open. Nickel did a good job of driving them down the field. But I tell you what, Scott, this tells you a lot if you're a head football coach for the Milton Eagles about your team. That no matter what, they're at the scoreboard watching. They're looking to make plays when the plays present themselves, and I'm very encouraged by that drive. That's a big drive for them.
Alex Morris retrieving that onside kick. So 8:42 to go. Good field position for Christian Brothers at the 49 of Milton. Back out of quarterback now, Jason Wiley, who has a stronger arm, quick release, and can also fly. Speaking of flying, there's a guy who can fly, Dylan Van, and Van will gain about 13 on that play, and that will move to chains.
Number 2, Dylan Van with the carry.
That's an advantage of running the RPOs. These linebackers are just a little bit hesitant to their holes, their gap scheme, because they're so worried about the threat on the outside.
Van on the quick snap. Van gets a seam, and Van will get 6. Touchdown, Christian Brothers.
Dylan Van with a
36 yards, Dylan Van. And you talk about a quick drive. How about a couple of plays?
Wow, what a hole. What a hole by this offensive line. They do a great job just running the repeat call 2 plays in a row. Look at this hole that just I could have ran through that one. Makes the safety miss. Anytime you can get a running back on a 3rd level player, a safety, a corner, they have to make those guys miss. That's what they're born to do. And he did a good job there and getting downfield. Big score for Christian Brothers. What a answer.
And the kick by Sonny Casons is good.
Kick is good. 41-27. Christian Brothers over Milton. 8:20 to go in the 4th. Freedom Bowl 2022 from Canton, Ohio on Flow Football.